My ex-stepdaughter, Carla, is 27, and her mom, Vanessa, and I divorced 2 years ago after a 23-year marriage. It was a painful divorce because after Vanessa and I entered our mid-40s, it felt like I always fulfilled my obligation to fulfill her emotionally and financially. However, Vanessa disregarded the fact that I was being neglected romantically. I finally filed for divorce. Vanessa accused me of cheating, and it was difficult to speak with Carla like an acquaintance or a friend, rather than as somebody I would see at dinner. Vanessa and I have 2 kids of our own, now 18 and a young teen. I recently remarried, and my wife has a preschool son. We recently found out that we're expecting. Our new blended family has adjusted remarkably well, and it's the first time in a while since I've felt contentment at home. Like I wasn't just working to replace what I didn't have at home, or worse, to get away from the dull emptiness of home life. However, with the new baby on the way, and our town being a small town, Carla and I are in a cold war of sorts. Like the phone works both ways, we both know that, but something tells me it's not wise to reach out. Carla was upset because my new wife's sister, Allie, 28 female, is known for being a job hopper who was working at the gas station. Allie, because she has no GED, has faced job issues. I previously talked to Carla about an unpaid internship at my real estate company when she graduated from her post-grad program, but the divorce happened and I tabled the discussion. Allie made it very clear every time we saw each other, she's a choir member at our church, that she desperately wanted out of retail. She's not cut out for customers who think they're above her. I felt bad for her and gave her an assistant property management job. Carla's mad because Allie's mom said that her daughter didn't finish high school, but is now making $70K a year, plus annual bonuses, and that you didn't need a GED or a trade to earn money. Carla was upset and said how she also hated how distant I'd been. Our fight shocked me because it was the first time since the divorce that I was being questioned on everything and made to feel like I was doing everything wrong. I eventually cooled down from the fight. This happened a month ago. However, I realized with the baby coming and me getting older, I needed to set up my estate to make sense of my current reality. After consulting my attorney, he said there's no obligation to include an adult biological child, never mind a former stepchild. But if I wanted to exclude Carla so she couldn't try to argue something, I could still do that. I ended up having my will set up so my current wife, stepson, and bio kids are in it. Am I the idiot? Dude, say it out loud. You threw your daughter away with the ex-wife. It's your choice, and us calling you an idiot won't change anything. But really, you're excluding Carla, but not your stepson. That sounds wrong. I mean, you cared for her for 23 years, and it doesn't matter? I don't see your reason at all. You seem cold to be able to do that to the daughter you raised. I knew he was an idiot when I saw he referred to a child who he raised from age 2 to 25, his ex-stepdaughter. I can't imagine raising a child for 23 years and not considering them my own. This is nuts. It always reminds me of the quote from Clueless, "You divorce wives, not children." Yep, who in the world says ex-stepdaughter? What? And that he felt he had met his obligations. He raised this child from age 2 until age 23. Once he gets a divorce, he starts feeling, there's something telling me that it's not really wise to reach out. And he no longer contacts her, nor wants to give her an unpaid internship at his office. Worse, he gave the new sister-in-law a $70K per year job, which would have been an unpaid internship to his stepdaughter. Once she tells him that she hates how distant he's been, he discovers he can legally disinherit her and wants to do so. Well, the good thing is he's starting the family number 2 in what I'm guessing is his late 40s or 50s. I'm sure having a baby will keep his love life spicy. I just snorted. That's exactly what I was thinking. He divorced his previous wife due to a lack of intimacy and romance, and now he's having another baby? He might as well update his will to exclude his current wife and her kids because his divorce is imminent. I'm fortunate enough to own a house. During the global issue, the company went remote, and I bought a place in a nearby vacation hotspot, much cheaper than the city, but way more space and amenities. Because of this, I often have people at my place. My girlfriend, Sarah, loves throwing parties and get-togethers. I don't mind, and it's always a good time. Sarah has a best friend, Jane, who is, to put it nicely, the star of her own movie. She's very self-centered, loves making things about herself, and must always be the center of attention. I don't mind. She and Sarah are good friends and seem to get along great. Jane has her 25th birthday coming up. Naturally, she wants to celebrate herself in a grandiose manner. Sarah asked if Jane could throw her party at my house. I was a little hesitant, but they assured me it would mostly be the same people we always have over. I agreed. Over the weekend, one of the boyfriends of their group sent me her TikTok, and it turns out that Jane had over 50 people coming. Our usual get-togethers are 20 people max, and that's with a bunch of my friends and their SOs, who are mostly not invited. I asked Sarah about this, and she said Jane got a little overexcited and had this big blowout planned. After a little back and forth, I told her she couldn't use my house. Sarah tried to push back, mostly out of loyalty to her friend. She didn't really argue. Well, Jane is hysterical. The party was supposed to be next Saturday. If she can't find a suitable space in time or budget, she'll be embarrassed in front of her friends and followers. I was being unreasonable. She deserved the celebration. She thought I was cool. I was letting down Sarah. What gets me is that she didn't even consider my problem. I agreed to a celebration like usual, with maybe a few more of her friends. She invited 50 people, most of whom I don't know. Sarah has repeatedly asked me to reconsider, but her heart isn't in it. She also understands Jane is being unreasonable, but she said Sarah had already promised this big bash, and it would devastate her if she looked like a liar in front of everyone. I haven't budged yet, but I do know what kind of histrionics and drama would unfold if she didn't get to host it. Am I the idiot here? She's going to be 25, not 5. Who in the heck demands that a friend throws them a party and then invites a horde? A user, that's who. Your house, your rules. She lost me when she talked about her followers would be disappointed, as if they were hanging on her every heartbeat. Not the idiot, by the way. OP, Jane took advantage of your offer. Considering what you've told us about Jane, are you really surprised that something like this happened? You keep letting Sarah off the hook. I don't think she's as innocent as you believe. Personally, I think she was rude to ask you to do it in the first place. She knew Jane had a big blowout planned and never said a word to you. It's also a little weird that Sarah loves throwing parties at your house. Don't cave. If Jane's extended friends are anything like her, they'll trash the place while criticizing it for not being worthy of their high standards. Let her friends find another place. So I, 27 female, live in a house share in a reasonably priced city in England. I moved here during the global issue for what was meant to be a temporary move, but I liked it more than I expected, so I stayed once things went back to normal. I lived and worked in London before. I live in a 3-bed house with my own bathroom and office. I share it with 2 other women my age. I pay more rent because I occupy more space. The girls I live with are nice. We're not besties, but we watch TV together and occasionally hang out outside the house. A sweet arrangement where I'm concerned. Recently, one of my housemates accidentally opened a letter for my employer, which detailed a new pay raise and bonus I was getting. I believe it was an accident because it was in a regular white envelope, and at a glance, our names looked similar enough for this to happen. She says it wasn't until she glanced over it that she realized it wasn't hers. That part I have difficulty reading. The problem is she knows how much I earn. It's a lot by London standards, where my job's based, so it's even more by Northern standards, which is where I live. She started off acting strangely, then passively, and it escalated to hostility. It came to a head when I sent a payment reminder for the money she owes me for a shared takeaway on Monzo. She sent a voice note on the WhatsApp group calling me a greedy Southern cow who was penny pinching when I could more than afford to let this go and let her get the next one. The thing is, we've never done that. There's no precedent for it, and I don't see why we should start under these circumstances. The third roommate started off silently, but I guess they spoke behind my back because they called a flat meeting and said that I was basically mented, and it was cheeky to ask the roommate to pay me back 20 pounds when I can afford to let it go. It escalated to me being called a Tory, accused of mocking them by pretending to be like them and living in a house share when I can afford to live alone. They said that given the state of the economy, it's only fair I pay more because I can pay more. I told them no. I said it's not my fault they chose low-paying careers, teaching and nursing, and pointed out I'm already paying significantly more rent than everyone, and our house isn't cheap. I refuse to let them punish me because I'm doing well in life, and they're not. I feel I've isolated them, but I don't think I'm in the wrong. Not the idiot, but I would consider moving out. Your housemates are jealous and entitled. I had a housemate who started stealing from me for much less when I mentioned in passing that I had gotten into university on a scholarship. It didn't mean that I didn't have loans, just a bursary. Also, I've had housemates like you, and I've never felt entitled to their money. I have had generous friends pay for things so we could hang out and do the fun stuff they wanted to do when I couldn't afford it, but I would still pay my way where possible and pay them back when I owed them money. Flat rule. If someone owes you money and doesn't think they should pay you back, they don't respect you. The friendship should be over immediately. I don't see this getting better. OP does have the money to move, so it might be wise to move on for their sake. They don't have to live alone if they like having people around. That's a valid reason to live in a share, regardless of income. But this arrangement may have run its course. I said it's not my fault they chose low-paying careers, teaching and nursing. Everyone sucks here. You're right on the general topic of rent splits and takeaways, but your comment above was unnecessary and personal. Next time, stick to the issue at hand, how house finances are handled. Nothing else needed to be brought into the discussion. I, female 19, had a baby girl a few weeks ago. My fiance and I decided to take some time off by ourselves to bond with our baby by ourselves, and also so I could heal a little. Neither of our families has yet met our baby, so we let them meet her this week. Our parents and my two older brothers came. One of them is married, his wife 32, and him have 2 kids, toddler and kindergartner. So, I admit that the first week was especially hard. I found it particularly hard to find a comfortable position to nurse. My baby won't latch correctly and it hurt, you name it, but now I got better at it. My fiance and I are trying to teach our baby to take the bottle, just in case, but so far, she hasn't shown any interest in it. She starts crying and refuses to nurse with a bottle, so I'm exclusively breastfeeding her. Well, all of this to say that when our families visited us, my sister-in-law started being very annoying about it. She kept telling me that the way I was holding my baby was wrong, the way I was laying her was wrong, and that she shouldn't latch like that. I was very annoyed at her during this visit because all kinds of stuff started adding up. She asked me about pumping and if I tried. I said I have to pump sometimes, but that usually either we drink the milk, which by the way she said it was nasty, or that I would throw it into the sink, since my baby doesn't want to feed if it's not from my breast. She told me that it was because I was doing it wrong. She said I must pump and force my baby to drink it by not giving in. Let her be hungry until she uses the bottle. She said that she did that for her kids and that a bottle was best because my breast would look bad afterward if I let my baby breastfeed all the time. I told her I won't do that since I won't let my baby go hungry. She said she was helping since I knew nothing, and I very clearly needed the help because I'm a child with a child. Well, she had been annoying me all day, and I snapped at her. I asked her who she thought she was. She's not a better mom just because she's older than me. I think she's worse since she admitted to letting her kids go hungry. We argued because she was very offended by what I said. Everyone was trying to calm us down, but then she said my brother was right and I was a spoiled brat who thinks I know better than anyone else. I was kind of shocked because that means that my brother is talking about me behind my back. So I got even more upset, and I told her that both of them are bitter, sad people. My fiancé then kicked them out. I've got some time to calm down now, so I'm wondering if I went too far. Maybe I should have said thanks to her advice and let it go. Perhaps my hormones and lack of proper sleep were getting to me, and what I did was wrong. Not the idiot. Basically, letting her be hungry until she uses the bottle? This would be child abuse. Sister-in-law is a terrible mother and was giving unsolicited advice. I was your age when I had my first, but I chose not to breastfeed. You got this. It's she who owes you an apology. Actually, you're doing nothing wrong, and what you told her is right. She's actually wrong with everything she told you. You don't force your baby by letting them go hungry. Your breast will be fine. I think she's probably jealous. I would reach out to your brother if it's bothering you and talk to him. Also, tell them if they visit, no advice. You sound like you're on top of things and doing a great job. Don't ever let anyone talk to you like that again. That wasn't advice. There were insults veiled as advice. Congratulations on your baby. I gave birth to my son this August. In my country, you get about 1.5 years worth of days you can take out to be on parental leave. Most people save some of these days so they can stay home occasionally with their child as they get older. I plan on staying home all these days until my son is at least a preschooler. Of course, a lot of planning has gone into this. I know we can't eat the most extravagant food, buy the newest clothes, or take expensive trips. But to me, staying home and caring for my son is worth it. Every Saturday, I take him to an open preschool. I don't know if this exists in the U.S., but basically, everyone is welcome there with their child for a few hours. They play, we eat, and we do stuff together. There's a mother there who had her daughter last April. She expressed to me and some other parents how sad and upset she was about having to go back to work so soon, and that she was stressed about leaving her daughter at preschool. She said that she wished that she could be able to stay home as long as I planned. I said that it was possible. She told me that for them it wasn't. I called BS on that. She obviously gets her hair colored, has makeup, trendy clothes, and stuff like that. I told her that if she just budgeted and didn't spend that much on herself, she could stay home. She once again said that even if she did that, she could not afford to stay home any longer. I know she has a husband, so it has nothing to do with that. I scoffed and said, "Life is what you make it out to be." She seemed extremely upset over this. Later, one of the people who organized this asked to talk to me. She explained that they value kindness and respect here, and that if I continued to make this a hostile place, I would get another warning before being banned. Was I an idiot for telling her the truth, even though it may have been a little hard? I felt like it was childish of her to run off and tell on me. You are the idiot, and a colossal one at that. You have no idea what someone's financial situation is. Having a husband doesn't mean you have the luxury to stay home. You attacked this woman, and you have absolutely no idea what's going on in her life. Heck, even if you did, you had no business speaking the way you did to her. Lady, the cost of hair coloring and clothes, even at a point of extravagance, does not come close to an entire salary, which a household may not be able to do without. You need to find out this family's mortgage note. They may help other family members financially. You don't know that her husband's job is lucrative and secure. Consider spending less time congratulating yourself on what you believe to be your budgeting genius and a little more time being grateful for the luck you have to be in a position where budgeting can make a difference. You are the idiot, and a judgy one.